Sometimes the world doesn't applaud when you win. Sometimes people get uncomfortable with your light. They try to dim it, question it, break it. They hurt you not because you did something wrong, but because your joy reminds them of their pain. Your happiness threatens their comfort, and your growth disrupts their stagnancy. But listen, you are not responsible for how others feel about your light. You're responsible for keeping it on. Let me tell you this, pain is a part of the package. Success doesn't come with a ribbon. It comes with cuts, tears, lonely nights, and way too many moments when you question everything. But here's the truth. Every person who tried to break you saw something in you they didn't have the courage to build in themselves. You want to get through the hard times. Then stop waiting for the world to validate your worth. Clap for yourself. Stand up for yourself. Believe in your fire, even when no one else does. Because the ones who try to hurt you, they're only reacting to your power. So rise up, walk tall, and smile that smile that they said was too much. You owe it to yourself to be happy even louder. People hurt you when your happiness reminds them of their own voids. It sounds harsh, maybe even unfair, but it's one of the deepest truths about human behavior. When you're genuinely happy, glowing with self-belief, walking in purpose, laughing without guilt, it can make people around you uncomfortable, especially those who haven't made peace with their own unhappiness. Your joy becomes a mirror they didn't ask to look into. It reflects everything they're lacking, everything they've suppressed, everything they once dreamed of but gave up on. And that reflection, it stings. It's not that you're doing anything wrong. In fact, it's quite the opposite. You're doing everything right. And that's what disrupts them. Your progress, your peace, your glow. It threatens the fragile identity they've built around being a victim, around staying stuck, around pretending that life is only about surviving and not thriving. So instead of being inspired, some choose to lash out. Instead of clapping for you, they try to minimize your joy, invalidate your wins, or even guilt you for daring to be okay when they are not. But here's the thing, that reaction has nothing to do with you. You are not their pain. You are not their past. You're simply the person who reminded them, consciously or not, that more is possible. And that's powerful. That's rare. And unfortunately, sometimes it comes with resistance. Some people don't hate your happiness. They hate that it exposes the work they haven't done yet. And yes, it hurts, especially when it comes from those you love or those you never expected it from. But that doesn't mean you should shrink yourself to make others comfortable. Your light is not a problem. Your joy is not arrogance. Your peace is not a provocation. It's a product of everything you've fought through to get here. Let it shine. Because whether they clap or criticize, your happiness deserves space. Not just when others are ready for it, but especially when they're not. Don't dim your light to comfort others. Shine unapologetically. It's one of the hardest lessons to learn, especially when you're someone who has grown up being told to be humble, to stay grounded, or to not make it a big deal. Society conditions us, especially women, especially people who rise from unlikely places, to tone themselves down, to take up less space, to never be too loud, too confident, too joyful. Because if you're too much, you might make someone else feel like they're not enough. So we learn to shrink. We start apologizing for our success, softening our voice when we speak of our dreams, downplaying our talents, and sometimes pretending not to be as proud as we actually are. But that shrinking, that dimming, it costs us more than we realize. It eats away at our spirit. It keeps us small in rooms where we deserve to stand tall. It tells the world that our presence is negotiable. And worst of all, it trains us to believe that making others comfortable is more important than honoring who we really are. You weren't born to live in the shadows of other people's insecurities. Your light, your strength, your fire, your ambition, it's not something to be ashamed of. You've earned every bit of your glow. And people might call it too much, but what they really mean is they're not ready to rise to that level. That's not your burden to carry. The truth is, your light has a purpose. It inspires. It leads. It gives others permission to shine too. The ones who feel threatened by it, they're not your people. And if they ever become your people, they'll find a way to rise, not resent. So show up fully, speak proudly, laugh loudly, dream wildly. Stop editing yourself to fit into boxes that were never built for you. You don't owe anyone your silence, your softness, or your shame just so they can stay undisturbed in their comfort zones. You were not made to blend in. You were made to stand out, shine, even if it burns their eyes. Shine even if no one says, well done. Shine because you've come too far, fought too hard, and loved yourself back to life, just to go dim now. Pain is part of the process, not proof of failure. We often look at pain as a sign that something's gone wrong, that we must have made a mistake, that we're not good enough, not strong enough, or not worthy of the path we're on. But the truth is, pain is not your enemy, it's your teacher. It shows up in the middle of transformation, not to break you, but to shape you. Every person who's ever achieved something meaningful has walked through seasons of deep discomfort, of loss, of betrayal, of uncertainty. That pain doesn't mean you're on the wrong road. It means you're growing. It means you're doing the real work. Because the things that matter, the things that change lives, don't come wrapped in comfort. They demand everything from you. Your time, your effort, your tears, your faith. You'll lose sleep. You'll lose people. You'll lose parts of yourself that were never meant to stay. And it will hurt. But the pain is not punishment, it's preparation. It's the stretching of your character, the sharpening of your vision, the strengthening of your soul. You can't become who you're meant to be without going through what you were meant to overcome. And yes, some days it feels like too much. Like the universe is asking for more than you have. Like everyone else is moving ahead while you're stuck in this storm. But storms don't last forever. And when they pass, they leave you stronger, clearer, and more grounded than ever before. What we call failure is often just a chapter in a bigger story. One that only makes sense when you read it all the way through. That rejection, that breakdown, that silence, those were not dead ends. They were detours, reroutes, hidden blessings wearing the mask of pain. And when you understand that, you stop being afraid of it. You stop running from the hard parts. You learn to walk through them with your head held high, knowing this isn't the end. It's just the middle. And your strength is being written right here. In the tension, in the tears, in the days you showed up when you had every reason to quit. Pain doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're being rebuilt. Keep going. Your joy, ambition, and success can make others uncomfortable. Don't take it personally. The moment you begin to rise, not everyone rises with you. In fact, some people start to pull away. They grow distant, cold, critical, and you're left confused, wondering what changed. You thought they would be happy for you. You thought they would support your growth, but instead they question your intentions, mock your dreams, or withdraw from your light as if it somehow casts a shadow over them. But this isn't really about you. It's about what you now represent. Your growth becomes a mirror. It reflects back to them all the things they told themselves they couldn't be. Your ambition disrupts their excuses. Your courage highlights their fears. Your joy challenges their resignation, and instead of facing their own limitations, it's easier for them to turn their discomfort toward you through judgment, criticism, or passive silence. It's not fair, but it's real. And if you're not careful, you can start to internalize their discomfort as your fault. You begin questioning whether you're too much, whether you should pull back, lower your voice, apologize for your wins. You begin dimming yourself to protect their fragility. But here's the thing. Your success was never meant to fit into someone else's comfort zone. Your journey isn't supposed to make everyone else feel safe. It's supposed to challenge the narrative that says, this is as far as we go. When your joy makes people uncomfortable, it means you're disrupting something stagnant. It means you're rising above limitations they haven't yet learned to reject. That's not your burden. That's their work. You don't have to explain your happiness. You don't need to make your ambition smaller to make someone else feel bigger. You don't owe anyone your guilt just because you dare to believe in more. The people who are meant to be in your life won't resent your evolution. They'll evolve with you. They won't be afraid of your light. They'll let it illuminate their own path. So when people grow distant or bitter as you grow bolder, let them. You didn't come this far to be held back by someone else's discomfort. You came to rise, to lead, to become. Don't make it personal, make it fuel. Their attempts to break you reflect their own insecurities, not your worth. When someone tries to undermine you, criticize you harshly, or drag your name through the mud, it's easy to take it to heart. We often internalize those attacks, believing that maybe there's truth in what they're saying. Maybe we are too loud, too confident, too ambitious, too different. But the truth is, most of the time, their behavior is not about you. It's about what you trigger in them. You represent something they either secretly wish they had, or something they fear they'll never become. People project, they reflect their pain, their fears, their jealousy, and their own lack of self-worth onto others, especially those who stand strong in the spaces they feel weakest. It's not because you're weak, it's because your presence exposes what they've refused to heal. It's easier to attack you than confront their own limitations. It's easier to say, you've changed than to admit they've stayed the same. It's easier to paint you as the problem than to face the work it takes to grow. This is why you have to be rooted in who you are. If you define yourself by other people's insecurities, you'll spend your life shrinking, apologizing, second-guessing your every move. You'll hand your power over to people who never even learned how to hold their own. You'll give authority to opinions that were never built on truth, only fear. You have to recognize the difference between feedback and projection, between genuine concern and disguised envy, between loving honesty and subtle sabotage. Not everyone who smiles at you wants to see you win. Not everyone who walks beside you is walking with you. Even as adults, many of us still chase that applause, likes, recognition, admiration, someone to say, "You're doing great." And when it doesn't come, we start to question ourselves. Am I good enough? Did I mess up? Why isn't anyone noticing me? But here's the hard truth. Not everyone will see your journey. Not everyone will understand the battles you fought quietly. And sometimes, no one will clap, even when you deserve a standing ovation. That's why you need to learn how to clap for yourself. Being your own biggest cheerleader means standing in front of the mirror on your worst day and still choosing to believe in your greatness. It means recognizing the small wins that no one sees. The moments when you didn't quit, when you held your head high even while breaking inside, when you showed up even when it hurt. It means learning to validate your own effort, to celebrate your resilience, and to find joy in your own growth, not because the world told you to, but because you know what it cost you to get here. Waiting for others to cheer for you gives them power over your spirit. It ties your emotional strength to the unpredictability of their opinions. But when you become your own source of encouragement, you become unstoppable. You start walking with a different kind of confidence, the kind that doesn't beg for attention, but commands respect. You speak your truth without waiting for permission. You set goals not because someone told you to, but because your dreams are worth the effort. And you keep moving, even through silence, because your inner voice is louder than the world's approval. Applause is nice, but it's fleeting. What matters more is the voice inside you, the one that says, "I'm proud of you," even when no one else does. The one that celebrates your growth, your healing, your progress, loudly, boldly, unapologetically. When you become that voice, no rejection can break you, no silence can shake you, and no failure can define you. So cheer for yourself. Be the first to clap, the loudest to believe, and the last to give up. Because no one will ever know your journey like you do, and that journey deserves to be honored by you first and always. In hard times, hold on to your power, protect your peace, and celebrate yourself boldly. There will be moments, sometimes long, exhausting seasons, where life feels unbearably heavy. So clearly, when nothing goes right, when doors keep closing, people keep leaving, and hope starts to feel like a distant concept instead of something you can actually hold. In those times, it's easy to forget who you are. It's easy to spiral into self-doubt and begin questioning your worth, your path, your strength. But this is exactly when you need to reach inward and remember, your power is still there. even when everything outside you is falling apart. That inner fire hasn't gone out. It's just waiting for you to fan the flame again. Hard times are not designed to steal your power. They're designed to teach you how to use it differently. They force you to stop looking for strength in the external and find it within. They teach you how to breathe through chaos, how to remain grounded in a storm, and how to rise without waiting for the world to lift you. Your peace, your calm, your clarity, your center becomes your most sacred asset during these times. That's why you must protect it fiercely. Don't let toxic energy in. Don't engage with people who want to drain you just to feel full themselves. Don't make space for things that only take from you. Guard your energy like it's your legacy. Because it is. And even as you protect your peace, don't forget to celebrate yourself, especially when life feels bleak. Celebrate the fact that you're still trying, that you're still showing up, still breathing, still believing in something better. Even if that belief is shaky right now, there's power in survival, there's strength in resilience, there's beauty in the quiet determination to not give up. So throw yourself little celebrations, even if no one's watching. Light a candle, speak kind words to yourself, dance in your room. Take a moment to say, I'm proud of me, because these are the rituals that keep you connected to your worth. These are the reminders that you are still, and always will be, deserving of joy, even when life isn't perfect. When life gets hard, don't go into hiding. Don't collapse under the pressure. Rise, even if it's slow, even if it's shaky. Rise with your boundaries, with your softness, with your fire, with your truth. Hard times are not the end of you, they're the forge, the place where your truest self is formed. Not in the applause, but in the silence. Not in the ease, but in the endurance. So hold on, protect your energy like it's gold, and don't just survive. Stand tall in the middle of it all, and dare to celebrate the fact that you're still here. So the next time they try to dim your light, doubt your worth, or question your happiness, remember this. You were not built to break. You were built to rise, to radiate, to walk through fire and come out glowing. Let them talk. Let them stare. Let them misunderstand you. That's not your burden. Your only job is to keep showing up for yourself, for your vision, for your joy. Because when you refuse to shrink, when you protect your peace and celebrate your wins, loudly, boldly, unapologetically, you give others permission to do the same. And in a world that tries so hard to quiet strong souls, your happiness becomes a revolution. Keep shining. They'll either adjust or look away. But you keep going.